Hi, track announcer Robert Geller here from Woodbine Racetrack as we take a look at the eligible runners for the 164th running of the King's Plate, which is North America's longest consecutively run stakes race and Canada's most prestigious horse race. It is now time to take a look at the road to the King's Plate from the Daily Racing Form and see who is on the top 10 list of Ronkia Kink. Once again, here is Gino Buccola with his insights into the contenders for this year's King's Plate.
Thank you, Robert. Back for another edition of DRF Road to the King's Plate as we get closer and closer to the King's Plate, the first jewel of the OLG Canadian Triple Crown. 3 horses this week to take a look at that are on Ron's top 10 personal rankings. Now, the first one I'm going to dive into is a horse who we've heard some news over the weekend that Stanley House will now be ridden by Javier Castellano. So the Kentucky Derby winning jockey and the Belmont winning jockey from this year will be aboard Stanley House. You know, in the plate trial, he was dead last in that race early on, and the race was won by a wire-to-wire winner, so it did not shape up all that well for him. I expect to get a little more aggressive ride with Javi aboard, who has been aboard this horse before. He was aboard him at Gulfstream Park, and he was up for a victory. So Stanley House gets a very, very big rider to jump aboard, someone who's had great success already this year. Let's move on to my next one. Stanley House is number 7 on Ron's top 10. For me, next up, Touch and Ride, who's number 8 on Ron's personal top 10 rankings. Touch and Ride was a recent winner over the weekend. He actually broke his maiden on July the 30th. He earned a 91 Beyer speed figure in winning that race. And speed figures are a nice tool to use. They aren't the end-all be-all with everything, but that is the fastest number run by any of the horses on Ron's personal top 10 list. So if we're just looking at the horses on that list, he's already run faster by speed figures in that race. And he sat a really nice trip that day. Sat third. That was also his first start on a synthetic track. Touch and Ride, major player. The final horse I want to talk about this week is Kalik, who's number 4 on Ron's top 10, and a horse who's like the number 1 in the power rankings. But in seeing how the field might take shape now, I'm not sure if it's going to set up as well for Kalik as I may have thought a few weeks back. Paramount Prince is very, very fast. Cow Kokaipu is also quick and can put some pressure on. The horse I just mentioned, Touch and Ride, I think could be sitting close. I'm a little worried about the trip Kalik may get now. From a class standpoint, absolutely super talented horse, but I think his best racers are when he's on the lead, and he may not be able to be on the lead in here. He may have to sit a trip based on the way this field is shaping up for the King's Plate. Getting closer and closer. I am excited, and we'll be checking in each and every week. A couple horses on my radar with some news and notes from the weekend: Stanley House, Touch and Ride, and Kalik. Hope all of you have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Gino. Join us each Sunday as we travel along Daily Racing Form's road to the first leg of the OLG Canadian Triple Crown, the King's Plate.